Hot dogs? Get your hot dogs here. Yola, welcome to VHS Virtual Hot Dog Show. I'm one of your hosts with a fresh haircut and beard oil, which is new to me. It feels strange to have something in my beard, but I'm trying it. I've been inspired by Lance and Levi to grow out my beard. I'm like, what do I look like if I have a very long ass homeless beard? Let's find out. Dear Journal. Anyways, welcome. If this is your first time joining us, I am one of your hosts, Tennessee, as mentioned before. We are a show that's ever evolving. Right now, we are a show like Seinfeld, a show about absolutely nothing but everything at the same time. So hopefully, with time and experience, we'll kind of narrow that down. Also joining me today, we got Levi
Yo, 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 everybody. This is going to be the best show we ever did.
and Lance.
Hey, yeah, I like that thing on your face. Looks like it's going to be a thick one.
I don't know who you're talking to. Dylan.
Hey, hey, hey. That's right. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing the hey, hey, hey back. Hello, everybody. I hope
Cultural,
everybody's doing well.
cultural appropriation. Hey, hey, hey. Is that what Fat Albert says?
It used to be a real family thing, Tennessee, so I guess you just don't understand. Our family used to be close, and then we stopped doing the hey, 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 and we really fell apart as a family. So you just wouldn't understand. You just
Well,
wouldn't understand it.
it's changed context through the years. So back in the 1800s, whenever one of the people, anybody would run away, go, hey, 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 get back here and get back to work.
Let's not get fact checked on that. Well, like I said, if you're joining us, we are VHS. We are not, sadly, a VHS channel in the sense of movies of old media, legacy media, or how to repair, upkeep, or restore. Maybe we might. I don't know. If everyone seems to be interested in certain niches, that might be your niche, but unfortunately, that niche isn't here. But today, we want to talk about zombie apocalypse. How would one survive that? What is your plan? Everyone's got one. I'm not sure if I can say female's got one, but I know every man out there, he's got a post-apocalyptic plan. What is your plan if it were to happen right now, at this instant, at this time, at your location, with what you're wearing? How do you survive? That being said, anyone want to start? Anyone thought about it long and hard? I'm not
Can we just be honest with one another? Seriously, have you guys really thought this through before Lance asked the question last week? You guys are all well prepared for a zombie apocalypse. Get out of
I
here.
mean, not
I'm
No
well
not.
way.
prepared, but I have a plan. I have a blueprint,
Because
bro.
the agreement
You
was
ha-
last week, before we start, was that these were slow zombies, right? There wasn't a chance.
No, they were the Down Before Dead zombies.
Oh,
So
these are fast zombies. That
these are
makes it worse.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's the medium level, right? Because we
it's
talked
the medium.
about
Yeah,
we're talking about World War Z, where
yeah.
they're basically superhuman, and then we had this slow, like, they was it Romero zombies, which are super slow, but then we had the Dawn of the Dead, which is what we settled on. So they
Uh,
can
Honestly,
run.
the best case scenario for me is I like Dawn of the Dead. I think a mall is a good place to hide out.
Yeah.
Um,
What
uh,
mall is close to you, dude? How are you gonna
I'm
survive?
I'm right next to
Leighton Hill?
Leighton Hills
Yeah.
Mall.
Really?
I'm in
Yeah.
walking distance of it. Well, I mean running distance if I could make it. But I have an electric car, and while the gas stations are all burning, I'll just be happily driving by in my
Powering through zombies.
But
It's just
I mean,
insanity.
I,
It's
correct
the
me if
only
I'm wrong, but I swear your Tesla's always under maintenance. How do you know? Is it under maintenance
it's
right now?
not, yeah, for rattling. That doesn't stop it from going places, It
So
just
there
it'll
would be
be
a loud
loud.
noise. Zombies
And
would be
but
drawn
I'll
to it.
also quietly get through the zombies. While your large trucks are making all the noise attracting the zombies, I'll be able to sneak through. But I think that would be ideal. I also think a school would be ideal because there's going to be a lot of food there. The windows, if you find an older school, are usually going to have, if you remember our high school, it had
Right.
like It had
bomb
like the atom
shields.
bomb shield, things, shades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you remember Box Elder,
Yeah, they're like manually.
they're
you have
like
to
giant metal,
curtains.
so we would be protected that way. You would all, and there's always the double doors in every entryway that you could protect,
Yeah, but the pressure alone, if they're not ballistic windows, they'd break
Right.
through,
But if
right?
I had was just randomly in a location, I don't think I would survive. I just don't. There's just no way. Like, because I
Yeah.
don't carry a gun with me. I don't have a katana. I'm not carrying a baseball bat. I think it would be difficult because you would just be suddenly overwhelmed by not one, but like 10 at a time.
Sure.
But I
So-
think my ideal location, I would immediately go to the mall or go to a place that I could lock down. A jail would be another good place.
Jail would be a
Ooh,
great
jail would
place.
be,
Jail would
yeah,
be a
that's
good
good.
place.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so mine would be jail. I think I would go to the sheriff's station, which again is only 10 minutes away from me.
Plus,
Right.
there's plenty of guns and ammo.
True.
Right.
And there's people who can use it.
Yeah.
Same with schools, though. Plenty of guns and ammunition in schools. So either one is still a great
Wow.
choice.
Wow.
Come on. Come
We're
on.
trying
we
to be
are
on
trying-
YouTube right now. Do you realize
Yeah.
this? I have to edit this out.
Dylan.
Where would
All right.
be
Bottle.
what about you, Dylan? Where's your sort of ideal location
Can we
that
first
you would go
can we
to?
can we first point out that Dylan didn't have a plan prior to this meeting, like prior to the concept. He didn't have a plan. There's books written about zombie apocalypse, the bath bomb zombies. Come on, bro. You didn't have a plan. Anyways.
My if anything bad were to happen, I'm really hoping I could make it out to my parents and my brothers would make it and they would just take care of me.
It's too exposed,
That's my
Dylan.
plan. That's my plan.
Sweetie, I'm gonna be at the armory. All right.
But going off of what Lance said, because I have a jail right down the road, I could get there in less than 5 minutes. So I could get
Yeah.
to the jail, the local jail in Brigham City pretty quickly.
Well, the thing is, though, so you're saying go to the jail. So if a crisis breaks out and it's a big crisis, you're going to go to a place where there's people who hurt other people,
Criminals. People who have
criminals.
killed
I'm not
other.
talking.
I'm not saying they're all like
though.
bad criminals and they're all going to hurt each other, but also, has anybody let them out? Are you going to be one that lets them out?
Listen, it's just a local jail, and catastrophes are the great unifiers. And you let them out, they're in a situation where they're going to survive as well. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
think
these are
didn't
just
Hurricane-
low-level criminals, right?
Hurricane Katrina, when they put everybody in the football stadium, didn't that go pretty well?
Minor drug offenders, Levi. Minor drug offenders. That's what we're talking about. That would be the population I would
Well,
be
we'll
hanging
just
out
let
with.
out the non-violent ones, the rapists. the
So
child
hold on.
molesters.
It happens right now, and the first thing you do is somehow make your way through police officers, convince them to let out the criminals, convince them that you will be the leader, and that the first move as leader of the jail is to release the hardened criminals.
No.
to
There's no
zombies.
convincing. Someone's going to be in charge when you get there.
What's what I'm saying? Dylan would have to fight the person in charge and say, "Listen to me."
Why would
There's
Dylan do
zombies.
that, though?
Yeah. Hey, I'm happy to take a back seat. I'm happy to take a back seat. Just be like, hey, just give me a gun and I'm here to hang out.
Your
Hey,
access depends on whether or not they allow you in there.
well, thankfully, I know somebody that knows the local police department. So I just name drop. I name drop my way to safety. That's my plan. That's basically how I survive.
Let me
Dylan,
tell
here's
you.
the thing: you're good looking. If there's no women in
Exactly.
that jail, they'll let you in.
Yeah.
You just put that together.
I might have to do some sexual favors to stay alive, but
Oh
I
my
will
God.
do what I have to do to stay alive.
You guys have not thought about this at all. Okay, so here's what I would do.
All right.
Because I've done a lot of thinking about this. So I used to work at a grocery distribution center.
Yeah.
The grocery distribution centers are pretty much locked down, and they have fences all the way around them.
Mhm.
So I would go to my local one that's more out of the way, and I would, because they don't have a lot of security, a lot of people, you could easily take that over if you had a group of people go out there and keep it locked down. Plus, you have a ton of diesels, so you could use those to drive the big storage containers around. And if you needed to evacuate, you could come up with an evacuation plan where you fill these containers full of food and then drive off out west. where I don't think a lot of zombies would head out west.
Why not? It's California, bro.
Yeah,
Why?
what's your
But like I'm like saying like the desert,
Oh,
Oh,
like more desert. Okay.
like more desert, like a dry place. Plus you'd have a viewpoint of like at least a couple miles. You know.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So I would take my family with an RV and a bunch of trailers full of food out that way that could
Mm.
last you, 4 or 5 years.
Mm.
And then
Plus, I have plenty
okay.
of guns and ammo, so I should be okay.
A box isn't plenty.
I have more than a box.
Do you let people join your convoy?
Yeah.
Is
No.
Dylan on the RSVP list?
Well,
Well,
Dylan-
Levi's
Dylan's-
definitely gonna let me on. Come on, Levi. I'm helpless. You know me. I can barely survive by myself.
Yeah,
can
one more
babysit.
mouth to feed.
The thing is, Dylan and I we're kind of useless because all of our skills are on the internet and online and
Yeah.
on computers.
Yeah, we don't need too many web designers. At
Do
the
you
end of
need
the
a
world.
customer service representative to
Yeah.
maybe help you through some difficult situations? I could help you. I could help.
Yeah. Whereas my husband, he has a pilot's license and a nurse.
Yeah, all right, Lance, you're in because your husband.
And so I'm there and I keep him grounded, you know. Without him, he might turn into a tyrant.
Well, in reality, too, Levi, if you let Lance part of your group, you at least have spare parts, blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
guess
a perfect
yeah.
match.
Dylan, so do you have a partner that's a doctor?
Well, no, but what I do have is
Is it an
two
anxious dog?
brothers that are twins that I could experiment on, and I could try and find the solution for this zombie apocalypse.
You're
You
gonna
know,
Will Smith it?
that's what I could do. I could just lock both of you up and do some testing to try and find the solution.
Dude, Dylan, have you ever planted anything? I'm just trying to
No.
find things that maybe we could use your.
What are your
Have you ever gotten your hands
strengths?
dirty?
Lance, he was superhero of his superhero awarded
Yeah.
for his company. Not many of us
Yeah.
can say we have a superhero award.
He can explain to
It means
everyone
I've got
how
a
we do a
good
thing.
work ethic. It means I've got a good work ethic. That you can always
True.
do something with somebody with a good work ethic.
Weren't
Come
you
on.
recording TikToks during your shift?
Yeah, I'm not that great. I was really surprised to get the award. I don't think
The-
they realized how bad of an employee I am.
The unfortunate thing for me though is like if there's an emergency going on, I'll probably get called into work and I'll probably just die that way.
Right.
You wouldn't not go? Let's say you see a zombie.
Yeah.
Like let's say let's say despite all odds, right? Let's say in this reality that we live in right now, you start seeing like the surreal fiction of there's people running around biting each other. It's not one or two. You start seeing that, right? You see it's the beginning. It's day 0,
Well,
hour 4, whatever, right?
that
So
all
it's-
depends whether I'm working or not. So if I'm working, most likely emergency is going to come in and I'm going to have to go.
Yeah.
And then I won't know what's developing because I'll be at ground zero while it's developing. So I could, so as long as I survive that, but if it was my day off and I'm like, oh, screw this, pile everybody into my police car and we head out to my plan.
In the broader viewpoint of it, it's like most of the zombie things, the zombie shows that you watch, most people don't know it's a zombie problem till it's too late.
like mhm.
Yeah.
All the emergency people are dead by then.
Yeah.
Right? Because
close to.
they have to be called to it. Like even if my husband's not working, he still has to, if something happens down the road, he still has to be there.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I'm fueling up a plane at that point, knowing
Whoa,
that we're going to
shouldn't you
leave
be
any.
fueling an electric plane with your electric car?
Do you even know how to fuel a plane?
Yeah.
You just on the front.
Like my honey, just like
it
my
just
honey.
it just absorbs it.
It absorbs it.
Dude, flying a plane's scary. Like if you don't get the
Yeah.
right weight. Like we had all those crashes that one year in Ogden. You remember that? Like,
Mhm.
and I asked Ben, I'm like, why do we have so many crashes in Ogden? And he goes, well, it could just be like the heat temperature, but it could also be the weight distribution. Like the people who were fueling the plane and then having the luggage, they didn't take into account all the weight of the people and everything. And that
Yeah.
could cause the plane to go down. Like, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Wow.
just a nobody, you're just fueling up a plane and you're like, get everyone in there.
Well, it's crazy,
You know?
right? That most of those aerodynamic accidents are usually small things like helicopter and small
Yeah.
personalized private planes, like small ones, because it's like you're literally just speck of dust in the wind, and anything
Yeah.
from weight to wind to heat to condensation could just
Yep.
trip up the plane.
I just think an airplane's too noticeable.
Yeah.
It's risky, and everyone's going to be looking, oh, look, a plane, and they're all going to be thinking they can get on this plane. So no matter where you land, you're going to be overwhelmed with people or zombies.
Well, I have a secret ranch, though, that people don't go to.
Never ever land. Michael
It sounds
Jackson's-
perverted
Michael
now, but
Jackson's-
it's a
Michael
secret
Jackson's.
ranch
You got a secret island.
called it's a stud ranch.
all we breed studs.
Tennessee, how would you think? Number one, do you think you would survive?
Oh yeah.
Being
One, I'm not
realistic.
part of emergency services. Two, I work from home primarily.
But where would you hold up? What would
My
you see
ideal-
it on the news and you're like, okay, I recognize what's going on.
So my first stop would probably be Walmart and raid food and get guns, equipment, stuff like that. From there, I'd go.
Assuming
to,
you're first, though.
assuming
Yeah,
even
you'd
just
be
scraps,
fighting
even just
crowds.
scraps. I mean, anything could be held as a weapon. Now these are zombies, right? These are zombies at the Day of the Dead, so right, and they're not superhuman. There are level, just they don't sleep. So I feel pretty confident I can handle myself with 1-2 zombies, depending on their size, right? So all I need some kind of sharp fire axe at the very least. So again, Walmart, stop by there, and if I can hold up, I'm thinking the mountaintops. Mountaintops
Yeah,
during the
mountains.
winter.
I think the mountains are good. The problem is just natural survival.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
So-
can you survive a winter in the mountains?
yeah. I can survive in the mountains.
You are so
no.
confident
It
in
would
yourself.
it was just it'd be one winter. If I didn't do anything past that, I'd be screwed. Now it depends, right? If it's one of those winters that we're getting like 10 feet of snow every day,
And
yeah,
it lasts till from
like-
November to July.
then I'm probably screwed. But there's got to be like we're in the freaking West, dude. There's going to be cabins. There's going to be abandoned places. I mean, there's always videos of like, hey, look what I found. Just some random hobos like a house.
Regular Jedediah Smith over there with his beaver hat,
right, brother.
ready to survive an entire winter.
So
Well-
I think that's a good idea. The problem I see, number one, you're not a mountain guy. Like you're not.
Whoa.
You're
excuse me?
not.
I'm an
Neither.
Eagle
None of us
Scout.
are. I wouldn't.
I'm
I
an Eagle
know
Scout. Excuse
that
you.
all of us are like, I would say, moderate at best. If you were to go in the mountains, none of us have ever shot a deer and then cut it
Yeah.
up.
I haven't cut it up.
Yeah. Good point.
Oh, you
I
just
hunted-
shot it and left it?
I shot it and the hunter guy took it. Like the guy I was with, he just took care of it. He's like, hey, try shooting this deer. So
Oh,
I've done bow and arrow too.
did you kill something with it?
No,
Oh,
didn't.
but
None of-
that's the problem I see with, and this is why I wouldn't choose the mountains. I would give myself some time with like canned foods and stuff.
That's what I'm
Which
saying. You go to
like
Walmart
the
first.
DC is a less known place for people. Like,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you're not
that's a
gonna be the
good
only
point.
person thinking about going to distribution centers to get
no,
food,
I
right?
don't.
That's a
I
lot
don't
of
think so.
food.
I don't think so. But I think I'm going to fight off a lesser crowd.
But if I were,
Right.
like I said, if I were to do it right now, if I was immediately within my vicinity, I'd probably go and hole up in Maverick. Because usually gas stations and retail stores have ballistic windows,
They got the big windows.
but they're ballistic, meaning that they'll sort of
How do you
Yeah,
know
but
that?
also, isn't everybody going to the gas station?
depends. If I can get there first, I can lock it down. Make it my kingdom. You want gas? What do you got to trade? Guns?
Get
You're
my
on top.
kingdom.
You're on top of it. You know,
Yeah, but do you
North
have
Kor-
that
the
in
Koreans
you?
had the Koreans had dude the Koreans during the California riots, they had the idea, bro. They had the
Like
idea.
pretending he owns Gas Town and Mad Max over there. There's a Maverick across the street.
I have a luchador mask ready coming in the mail. I'm going to use that as my war mask. So protecting the
It's-
Maverick.
it's
Kind of. Go ahead, Dylan.
I was just gonna ask, do you have it in you to take the gas station over from another human being, another
Yes.
person that's just? Wow, you answered that so quickly. What
For my,
the heck?
for my
I didn't know I was dealing
survival,
with a
for survival of my
psychopath.
family, yeah, 100%. Bro, did you
Okay.
not learn anything from our Amazon episode?
You would really do that? I mean, what if it was another?
So
mean,
it's-
yeah,
so
I don't
another guy-
understand. Explain that to me. a
Sure.
little bit.
Yeah.
Well, let's first, Dylan, finish your scenario here. What's-
Okay, so I'm just thinking, all right,
Okay.
so there's a gas station right up the road
Mhm.
with like barred windows. It would
Yep.
be a great gas station to go and protect myself, stay safe there. But there's like, it's a family owned gas station.
Mhm.
So am I really gonna go in there and maybe kill a father, to take over this gas station? I mean, I work well with people, so I would imagine that I could talk him into letting me in
Sure.
and seeing me as somebody that could be a helpful, partner in whatever situation were to come up. But I don't think I could go in there and be like, "Look, you're gonna have to get out of here because I'm taking over," and maybe even have to kill this man who
Depends.
might, like I said, could be a father, could be, whatever he is.
Yeah. But you're also a son, a brother, a
Yeah.
lover, right? Like if I had to, yes, but I work well with others. That's one of the reasons why I am in my job right now is because I have the soft skills. We talked about it. I'm really good. And most of my organizations and activities, I'm typically I don't view it, I don't think I'm this way, but I've been told and I've seen it like I have a voice. I have the capacity to impact positions and areas. And so like if I would talk with this guy for sure. I'm like, hey man, this is what we need to do. Like this is what's happening. Like either go take care of your family, stay here, but we need to shut this down. This needs to be right. And if he is like going to be adamant, like, no, we have to, we have to keep it open and we have to do these. And like, well, no, dude, we got to be careful because this is it. This is pinnacle, right? And so
Yeah.
I would not use death as the immediate deterrent. But I mean, if I have to like beat you up, tie you up and wait it out a little bit, then I would.
Are you worried about like the repercussions when you die and go to heaven?
No.
I was thinking that same thing
Why?
Like,
because I'm not even.
I'm not
Oh,
even
well,
I'm not like religious in that
I wouldn't say I
sense.
was super Christian, but I could not just murder someone in cold blood to.
Again,
So
I wouldn't murder someone cold blood unless there was need to. Not like kind of be like, all right, you're dead, right? Like I would look for an option, but I feel like people are very kind and are willing to give the benefit and doubt and dismiss red flags immediately versus like there's a red flag that needs to be addressed immediately, especially in a live or die situation. You can't just sit there and think, well, what other options are there? Like, well, there's right now there's only two options. We need to make a decision, either lock up or keep open. So it needs to from there we can make further decisions and take further action at different ways. But right now it needs to be decisive.
So this father of, has a wife in the gas
Mhm.
station, and there's two little kids running around,
Sure.
and the father says, "No, we got to keep this gas station open to like get as many people in here." And you're like, "You can't let the wrong one in." So now you have a conflict, and
Sure.
you at that point, what do? You pull out your gun and shoot the father?
No, it's like I tell them like, why can't we need to close down now for the safety of your family, for the safety of you and your kids. We need to lock down.
and
He
he
says,
says no.
"No."
And say, well, I'm taking over. I will
Okay,
lock
what does
down.
that look?
I will,
What does
then
it
I will
look
lock
like?
down. I will lock down. I will lock down, but your kids will be here with you. I will lock down. I will do it. I will take the
Ye
responsibility of saying no to people. I will take the responsibility of being the bad guy.
But then he
I
just says no, it's not going to happen. What are you going to do?
I mean, you're gonna have to
Probably,
fight him
probably
physically.
fight him and restrain him.
And he starts pushing you out and he's like, hey, fine, go on your own.
Yeah.
So if you're forced to, you would kill this man in front of his family.
If I'm forced to, yeah, but why? Why do I have to immediately? Why can't I subdue? Like,
And
why?
then,
Why? It's like,
okay, and one of the
what's wrong? What's
times,
wrong with the
So
chokehold? What's wrong with the
you
chokehold?
subdue him, you choke hold him, you tie him up, and his wife comes out like, you crazy bastard, and
Sure.
starts hitting you with a newspaper. And she's like, he wants to stay open. What are you gonna do with her?
Nothing. A newspaper doesn't phase me.
But then she grabs a bat
And then I grab the bat from her,
and do what with her?
just lock her in her
She
room.
just keeps screaming and you lock her in a room. Then the
Lock her
kids
in
are
a
like, what
room.
did you do to our
and
parents?
then the 8-year-old comes around the aisle and he has a gun and it's loaded and he's pointing it at you.
And then I'm screwed because he's gonna shoot.
He said, "Get out." He says,
Like,
"Get
no,
out."
no.
You can't say no. He's gonna shoot you.
Who says? Well, you didn't tell me he was gonna shoot me. You said he had a gun.
He's pointing
He's
a
a
gun
little
at you
kid.
that's
What
loaded.
little? You think any little kids ready? A majority of
Yes,
little kids are not ready to
of a
shoot
farming
someone.
of a gas station. I'm assuming they're ready.
No.
We have to assume that this gun
But
is
why do
loaded.
you have to
He's
assume
pointing it
that?
at me. Okay, I want to know
50
exactly what
50.
you do.
50
Are
50.
you
Flip
gonna?
a coin. Flip a coin. Let's do this right
And
now.
then
Flip a
okay,
coin.
no, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's a standoff. You have a gun. He has a gun. What are you
I have
gonna
a gun.
do?
He has a gun.
He's
Yep.
crying. He's got tears. He's like, please just get out of here. And his dad's like, shut up. He's crazy.
He's
And
contained.
he's like shaking the gun at you like he's gonna shoot you. What are you gonna do?
I dodge to the left or the right real
You
quick. He
can't
shoots the gun.
dodge. You
Oh
can't
my
dodge
gosh.
it. This
Okay,
is a
well, someone set up
standoff.
the parameters. Tell me
What's
No,
the-
no,
what's
no.
the-
The choice
The
is
kid's
you either have
crying.
to
He's
shoot
obviously
him or
psychologically
leave.
disturbed.
Yeah. There's a permanent. It has to be a permanent solution. So Lance is right. Shoot him or leave.
Shoot him or leave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, you've broken into this gas station,
Yeah.
and they let you in. They let
You
you in.
tied up their dad, and
You
the
just
mom's locked in
did
a bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do?
So this is the choice. Either shoot
This is
him
this
Or
is the
leave.
or
choice.
leave.
I'll tell you what I would do, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do.
No. But I don't. So you said shoot. That's the only option, right? There's no.
There's no other options. It's
Okay.
either you're going to shoot this kid, or this kid's going to get you out of the building, and he's going to release his dad and mom.
I have to shoot the kid.
Oh, that's a good point. You could just shoot him in the leg and drop him.
I mean,
Okay.
shoot him in the leg, the gun might go off and you, and you don't know the end scenario of that.
Well,
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I was asking. Everything else I've tried, you're like, no, it's a standoff. I'm like,
So
okay, well, I can shoot at him. Doesn't mean I have to hit.
You
him.
have to shoot because he
shoot
has
the
a
kill.
gun. Because he has a gun.
And he's 8.
He's 8 to 10.
All
His
right.
voice hasn't quite changed. Get out of here, mister.
I'd leave. I'd leave at
Okay,
that point.
okay. That's exactly what I would expect from you. Yeah.
you
At
would
that point-
leave.
One thing we need
Yeah.
to give Tennessee credit for is I think he's thinking more about how desperate a human being can get.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine that we've been holed up in our houses and we've been cut off contact from one another and we haven't eaten in days. And that is when you finally make your way to a gas station. He lets
Yeah.
you in. You're starving. You realize this is the only way I'm going to survive is
Yeah.
if I stay in here.
Mhm.
And then suddenly this guy's like, well, I'm going to let other people in, people that you're suspicious of. And now suddenly you're thinking, how do I stay alive in here? You know, like,
Yeah.
at a certain point of desperation, maybe you would do something that you never dreamed. I mean, we're all acting like we'd still be kind of in a civilized society and we would still be doing things that, you know, I don't know. I just feel like at a certain point of desperation, we could all do things that would shock us even thinking of doing right now. You know what I mean?
That's
Does that
what I'm
make
saying.
sense?
You have to have that mindset because, like I
Right.
said, at that point, it's no longer are we chivalrous of each other. It's like, no, it's how do we survive, right? Like I said, the little kid.
Right.
I mean, if there was another option, I would find a way. I mean, I would like shoot me. Come on,
I
shoot
would
me.
hope.
I
Yeah.
try to get I would try to mind up with him first before.
So the broader question is, once society is collapsing in this way, you're suggesting that right and wrong don't exist.
I'm just
No.
I'm just saying that I
more
think we
gray
would
area?
we would surprise ourselves at the things that we'd be willing to do at like a certain point of desperation. Like we were starving, for example, or like our family was starving or sick, and we had to do something that like another human being, father, kid, to like get into a pharmacy or get into a place where there's food. I don't know. I think all of us could
I think what
surprise
Dylan's
ourselves in
saying
that
is
situation.
that when we get in that situation, there won't be gray areas. There will still be right and wrong, but it now becomes very black and white.
Yeah,
Either I do
survive or
this or I
die.
don't.
Yeah.
Either I shoot the kid or I don't. Like you said,
Yeah.
in that example was
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Either I shoot the
Yeah.
kid or I don't. I'm like, okay, the
Yeah.
consequences will hurt me regardless of whether I choose to shoot or not. And I don't condone shooting anyone or any kids, right? But like, I need to blur that out. But yeah, like you have to make a decision. It becomes black and white, right? And that's what you guys ultimately whittle it down to: black or white. Either you shoot
Yeah.
to survive or you shoot to not make us alive. And so I'm like, well, a little kid, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I won't do that. If it was a dad, I don't know.
If
Different
you're
story.
hungry enough, you just might. You know what I mean? But let's say you were literally thought that if you didn't this kid and you went out those doors, you were gonna die, maybe you would shoot that kid. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we don't really know how desperate we could get in a situation like that.
And I do agree with you, but I still think right and wrong still exists, but that becomes very granular, right? Because what me personally, my first thought isn't to steal someone's land. It wouldn't be to steal a maverick. I would not like
Right,
that.
right,
I don't want to burden other families' life with me. But at the same time, it's like, hey man, like there is at this point, there is no law, right? And I get that this is technically speaking, it's not yours, but it is yours. But like, we need to
right.
survive, and so if we want to survive, if I'm going to be part of this group, then we got to do X, Y, Z. But are you? So what about you guys? What if you guys are pushed to your limits? What you telling me you wouldn't take over the DC, Levi?
I mean, that it all depends on what the situation you're in at the time. Like, if my kid is sick, or any of my kids are sick, or my wife is not going to make it for some reason and needs medicine, I probably would do some awful things.
Would you shoot a kid? Would you?
Would I shoot a kid? I
I'm
don't
gonna
think I
ban all
could.
this
I don't
shit.
think more like it would depend on the moment. I don't know if I could ever shoot a kid. I would rather die than shoot a kid. Um, if it's a guy that's just hoarding a bunch of stuff and he's just fighting me, that would probably be a different scenario,
Yeah,
because now it's about the survival of my family
You're right,
and
Right.
right.
what's
Versus
more
greed.
important to me versus greed, right? I'm just asking for a few things and they're not giving it to me, and I need these things. So my mindset probably is going to change pretty quick.
Yeah,
Instead of being like, okay, man, good luck. I guess
I feel
I'll go down the road and find something else or not. And then my kid dies.
I
You
Right.
feel like
know,
you, out of all this group here, probably has more of that switch ready to go of the black
yeah.
and whiteness
right, right,
than all of
right.
us here.
Like if I pull up and someone pulls a gun on me and I have my family in the car,
You're not going to
that
talk
that
about it. You're not going to
I'm
be
not going to talk
diplomatic.
about it. I'm not going to be like, and they're like, "Hey, get out of your car." No, it's not going to happen.
No,
So I think when you have kids, above all, like they definitely like their safety is 100% my job
Right.
at this point, because they're not going to survive without me. So I think I'm going to be more leaning towards stuff I don't normally think I'm capable of. And I probably would be more capable of doing, but I don't know if I could ever cross the line of shooting a kid. Now, if a kid has a gun on my kid,
different
Yeah,
story.
that's a different story.
right,
You
right.
know
I
what I
was gonna say
mean?
context. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
context, like just like in police work, right? Like if someone's going to hurt somebody else or hurt
Yep.
me or another officer, I'm definitely taking that person
Yeah.
down.
Well, you know what's
You
interesting conceptually speaking? Like supposedly video games, some of the benefits of video games is that it helps with our immediate reaction response to things. So because you've kind of been trained to choose it, make a decision immediately in video games, you've kind of oddly enough have trained your brain to make quicker decisions than
know.
people who don't play video games because you're so used
Mm.
to being in this pseudo environment and having to make the right decision or make a decision at that moment or time. So I do find that rather interesting to see how that would impact because, like I said, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was pretty quick to react. Dylan's like, "Whoa, you really said yes?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I do most of that."
Yeah,
Mm.
I just have a hard time saying I would do it, just because it's hard for me to even comprehend that we'd be in that situation.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
in the moment, yeah, you're right. Like you're not gonna be. I mean, we forced you to make an answer, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like you here, no, you're gonna have to do it. But I still think there's yeah, a lot of people say right and wrong go out the door, but I still think people are, for the most part, there's a good group of
oh
people who
yeah,
aren't selfish, who aren't in it to hurt a bunch of people.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, survival of the fittest, right? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
unfortunately, there is I think, a larger group of people who are selfish, who are like, no, it's my family or nothing,
Yeah.
Right.
and man, those are the people that scare me.
Yeah.
The people who are just like, I don't care. My whole life's been chaos,
Right.
true.
and I'm
Right.
just gonna go out and just I'm gonna take and steal or whatever, and it's not gonna bother me at all. You know. But yeah, overall, I would say uh, l- the survival, like me surviving with my kids, I want to say we would survive, but when you talk about that much chaos, I don't think we would survive.
I think kind of depends, man. I think the isolation plays into value. I think you had a good idea by heading west or further into the
Yeah.
desert.
Yeah.
No, I would say I almost feel like the desert's more inhospitable than the mountaintop. Now, granted, they're both extremes. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like the desert, man, like you gotta be equipped to deal with that because
Yeah, you'd have to
that's
find well
intense.
water. You have to find all
Versus,
sorts of
you're right, the
versus the
mountaintops.
mountains. Yeah,
Mountains rough because once you hit that winter, that's hibernation season. Like
Right.
you gotta lock down. But I mean, yeah, but I can also see Dylan and Lance's, point of view. That's good too. But being in population areas makes me worried eventually about people.
Yeah, but we're fortunate that we don't live in like a big city. Could you
yeah,
imagine
true.
living in like New York, where
Yeah.
where that's likely to be like ground zero when it hits United States, right? It's likely to be in a big city and then make its way down to places like the smaller towns that we live in.
Right.
And so we're pretty fortunate in that situation where we would have time to maybe think things through a little bit. We probably have more information about what's going on and what to do next.
I do feel like the West, Midwest, South are probably more well equipped
yeah.
to contain
Yeah.
Let's
mass hysteria.
let's vote on who would survive the longest. So I'll do my vote first because I already got it in my head.
You can't vote yourself though.
You can't vote yourself number one.
You can't vote
Oh,
yourself number
I
one.
would have voted Levi.
I would have voted
So
Levi.
so I vote Dylan dies first. I just, what, even at the end of the world, you're too sweet of a man. I don't think, I
You
think
are
you would, I think you would
precious.
be helping people. Like, I think you would, like, I've seen you in certain situations. I'm like, I don't think you would
I've
be the
seen you
type,
get
I don't
have
think you
foot
would drop your
disease.
moral value in any way, shape, or form in that,
Situation.
situation. So Dylan dies first.
Okay.
Okay.
And no, I think Tennessee's second. I think your cocky attitude is going to get you in trouble.
My cocky attitude.
Yeah.
Why is my cocky
Oh,
attitude get me in
yeah.
trouble?
I
Ooh.
think you're going to put yourself in situations that are dangerous that you could avoid. So I don't think you're going to be planning it ahead. Just like you
Wow.
said, I'm going to run straight to Walmart. Even though we just talked about everything's in chaos, you're looking for stuff right in that moment. You know what I mean? And then Lance, I think because of his knowledge, but also his partner's knowledge, he has more likeliness of getting out and being like, I'm going to head west with my family or
Join
head
a
to
group or
join a
something.
group or
We're
something.
both
And especially
nurses.
Buy
you're,
field
yeah,
programs.
and
Bull
plus,
crap.
but also that's dangerous situation. Your partner might be more like, I need to help people,
Yeah.
and you'll get yourself in situations that could die. So it's kind of a toss up between you. And then obviously I vote myself number one.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
Of course.
between like
I
the
felt a little offended, to be honest.
Between my plan and then my training.
he's got a family.
Yeah, I have a
But family
family.
becomes a weakness though.
I got
It
a
becomes a
piece.
strength
I'm gonna
too.
be that guy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
But it
I
becomes
got
a
a family
strength.
too. I
Yeah.
got a family
No,
too.
no, but he's got kids. He's got kids. None of us have kids. That's
This
the
is true.
Right.
difference.
Yeah, but this is true. But they're also
And it becomes a
kids.
serious strength to him that he's prepared to go much further than I think the rest of us.
In what
Whereas
sense?
and time, okay, so like in all emergencies, especially in a zombie thing, like time means everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
For me and Dylan, we would probably isolate ourselves because we would think this will pass. We don't know the depths of this thing. That would be our problem, right?
Mm.
Like we would, especially like let's say a large city, most people would lock down their apartments within the first week, maybe, within the first 2 days.
Yeah.
And now they're trapped in their apartment and they're either going to be fighting each other floor to floor or they're going to cooperate. But it doesn't matter because food's limited and you might have to fight each other, other buildings or whatever.
Yep,
Okay, food's just limited. It's a food desert there.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Dylan and and this is why I brought it up of like, I probably couldn't go to a gas station and prepare myself for this because by the time I even thought this was going to be a problem, it would be a week and it's too late,
Yeah.
because I'm in an emergency. I'm thinking, oh, I'll just stay here in my community. Okay, well, now it's too late. What am I going to do? Obviously, I can't just run across Davis County to go get something. Everything's destroyed by then. And I bet 80% of people are like us.
Yeah.
Whereas Levi is probably thinking faster. And obviously, Tennessee, you're thinking faster too. But like Dylan and I put us in the same stage of like, oh yeah, we would die probably first because we're not thinking about it, you know. Like I'm not, and Ben's probably gone in the emergency, you know.
Right.
I would put Tennessee second because I'm going to take him at his word that he would be a warlord in this, you know, within day 3, you know.
Hour 3.
Hour 3. No, it's just a guy. It's just one guy, you know.
Was it a pandemic?
He attached a plow to a bus, calls it his death wagon. I don't know.
But I think Levi, because of how he's prepared, they have guns, they have ammunition, he's in the depths of emergency planning. Now, if he doesn't get caught up in it, he may have a plan.
Yeah.
You know, he may be like me, where Ben's caught up in it at the hospital at ground zero.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and it's like, how do you escape that? You can't.
Yeah, there's no way. I would have to literally in my mind say society has collapsed. I have to abandon my role here.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
when does that happen? When you're in the middle of a crisis.
Right.
And I don't know if I that's the one thing I was thinking about. Like, I don't think I have that mindset to think ahead, like to say, just pull that lever and say, yeah, it's all collapsed. I need to go grab my family and run.
Yeah.
When I'm in the middle of it, right?
See,
Right.
I feel like I'm more of that sense. I'm more ready to like, okay, I need to head out now. I need to do this now. This needs to happen now. You know, like I said, I don't know. But yeah, let's continue with who's Dylan.
All right, Dylan, you vote
go for
next.
it. You vote next since you were rated last in Levi's survival outcome.
I don't know. I mean, I think even I could surprise myself if I were to get really desperate. I think I could do things that are terrible things just to stay alive. You know what I mean?
Could you shoot a kid?
Again, context. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, if
Alright.
I was literally
Points.
starving and that was my only choice, I think all of us could surprise ourselves to do things that we never imagined. I mean, it's like, you know, having gone through addiction, you know, you kind of keep going past these stages that you say you'll never do. And then once
Right.
you do
Yeah.
it, you get comfortable with it, and then you keep going. And then
Yeah,
before you know it,
that's
you're
a good
doing
point.
things you never imagined that you would do. So I kind of understand that a little bit. And so I understand that, like, in a sense of desperation, where like it's either survive or die, I think all of us could do things. But still, I would struggle. You know, I'm definitely not prepared for it. So I definitely see myself dying first. Levi's got a family.
Oh, for real?
Dude, I'm not prepared. You know what I mean? And like Levi Lance said, I'm kind-hearted. You know, I would
Yeah, me
really
too.
rather
You would
try and talk
deliver a
to
Starbucks to a woman during a zombie apocalypse just to make sure she was healthy.
who knows what I would do. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Honestly, I would like to imagine that if this situation were to come up, I could go out to, you know, where my parents live,
Yeah.
and it's a kind of isolated area. And the nice place about it is I know farmers in the area who would probably have foods, you know, storage, like, you know, that could be a helpful
Yeah,
situation.
I don't think that's a
Could help me.
bad scenario, man. Going to a
Yeah,
community that's really small to begin with, and you're already part of it in a
Yep.
sense, and kind of like
at
holding
least for
ground.
a starting point, to be like, okay, how do we get out of here? I mean, you're pretty far away from the city out there. You know some people in the community, farmers, people that have probably plenty of food. And then you say, all right, eventually things are going to get bad out here. Where do we move next? You know, so I think, you know, compared to a lot of people in the world that would probably die, I think I could survive for a while. But out of us four, Levi's got a family. I think that's going to keep him pushing, uh, you know, to stay alive. You know, so I'm going to give Levi. I'm going to say Levi's. I don't know, but I also kind of agree with Tennessee that since you have kids, it's going to put you in some tough situations. You know,
No, yeah,
it
I
could slow
agree.
you. It could slow you down. Um, Tennessee's the most selfish. I'm going to say Tennessee stays alive the longest. Eh, Levi second, Lance third. I would probably die first. So fourth. I'm
Jeez.
gonna give
So the
myself
same
last
as me.
place. Yeah.
Intervention for this kid. Tarver family is ever listening to this podcast. Oof. Jeez,
Oof.
man, a
But
confidence
see, he's so
boost,
nice. He can't say me and my family are going to die first.
right?
Yeah.
He
I
just
can't do
can't.
it.
He does it. He can't do it.
I
He's
just
so
don't have it
nice.
in me. I just don't have it in me.
No, it would be hard with kids because like my kid, throws a lot of tantrums, try explaining to them that they have to be absolutely quiet and
Right.
can't say it, and they don't know what's going on. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if he was older, then it would be easier. But where he's younger, he's not going to understand that. So you're going to be commonly throwing yourself into.
So, and that's where I'm gonna step in. I would say Levi or Dylan might. So, according to Levi's scenario that he gave, and Dylan his idea, and then Lance's idea, I'd say almost Levi would probably be the first one to go, only because one, his position in the community, and two, the kids. I I truly believe when everything's in your control as a parent, you will surpass almost all obstacles. But the problem is you have two independent variables that if they don't listen to you right on the dot, that puts you in a situation where there's going to be some serious consequences, which makes me
Yeah.
worried. And
Yeah.
so, like, I mean, again, if those kids are on point with you, I think that gives you way more of an edge over everybody because, again, kids do spark that kind of mentality, that kind of protection, that kind of thought processing. It really is a bonus. It's a like a power up essentially.
I mean, looking at it statistically, like if you were to look at it, like break it down, it is the biggest crutch.
Yeah.
More mouths to feed, more variables to worry
Yep.
about. Like,
So
yeah,
I'm thinking Levi's heading out west, right?
No,
But
you're right.
Daddy,
You're
Daddy,
right.
I need to go bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pee in the car. I don't want to. I don't want
Dad's
to.
like that just because of a bathroom break. You're
Right.
dead.
So that's where I'm like
Bullet
that.
gun.
What's your plan, right? If you were going somewhere else, I don't know, maybe you have a better chance. If you're heading out west to there, I'm like, you would have to do a little bit of Mad Max in there.
Yeah.
So I'd say
I'm number 4. I'm
3 or
first to
4,
die.
only because Dylan on his way to, well, no, you know what? Yeah, I think you'd be first only because position, your responsibility, and the
Yeah.
kids. I would have put Dylan at 3rd, only because he still has to commute to Bear River, and on his way he'd probably stop and help an elderly woman cross the road. It turns out to be a man and shivs you for your car and takes your dog because he needs an emotional dog. Lance, I'd say probably 2nd, only because he would stay with Ben, and Ben
Yeah.
would be at ground zero. And I think if Ben does escape, because time has passed to that point, that they would be forced to stay put. Now the car with the Tesla is a great idea, but that would depend on the time window. Like when are you like where's that it would depend on the opportunity, right? If it's
All right.
still scattered enough, I think you guys could easily escape. And I feel like knowing a little bit about Ben, he'd probably walk down with family if they couldn't get going, because most of his family's here, I want to say.
Yeah, within 10 minutes.
Yeah, so like they'd probably kind of hole up and compound together and stick that way. For me, I feel like I would be tied with 2nd, wasn't necessarily 1st, because my first thought would be take my fiance, grab my parents, grab my sister, and immediately head south. South to Mexico. Where where drug lords would rule the world.
Oh,
So
right.
and that's where I'm like, I don't think any of us would live very long. But if I'm staying with my mountain plan, that's where I'm like, I don't know if I'd be first in my own boat, because I would have to grab my family and then head up to the mountains, and then I would have to find and then sustain. And I have some experience growing food. So does my parents. I have experience surviving. Like I said, I was an Eagle Scout, so I have some idea. It's been years since I've done any of those skill sets or trades, but yeah, that's a rough one. I mean, just going off our plans.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy too. It's like we're thinking about on the micro level, but on the macro level, like what is the government prepared to do to contain a thing? You know, like if are they willing to blow up every major metropolis?
Yes.
You know, yes, I would say yes. You know, and because what do they offer? That's the easiest solution, is to nuke a major metropolis, you know, because even though there might be financial
repercussions,
no industries there, the vast majority of livable to get through a crisis is the food, and that's not going to be at a large city, you know. And they could even fake it. They can even say, well, every large city has a breakout. Just bomb, 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 and the nukes just start going.
So Levi, what's the plan for the small town that you live in? What's their quarantine plan? Is it
the thing is, I'm trying into emergency management, and that was my suggestion to them.
Yeah, I keep bringing up what happens if there's a zombie apocalypse, but nobody will.
Take it seriously. Lance,
No.
who's
Lance, what
your?
was yours?
Yeah, who's your?
I said Dylan and I would probably go first. I said that.
Oh,
and
that's
then
right.
and then I said Tennessee, and then a close first and second is Tennessee and Levi.
Gotcha. That's true. That's true. That's true.
That's
Now I
where I
have
made
another-
the warlord.
All right. Let's say you have your disposal for whatever reason, XYZ. You get your choice of one melee and one firearm. What is that choice? I'm gonna start with Levi because he seems to be the most prepared. You have one melee weapon and you have
One melee weapon.
one firearm.
Probably I'd probably just like an AR-15 rifle.
Okay.
And then I would probably have trying to think of a tool that's like a multi-tool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want something crazy heavy.
Do you want a Swiss
because-
Army knife?
No, I don't want something crazy heavy because like an axe, you throw it once, you have to hurry and bring it back.
Sure.
Right.
Keep throwing an axe.
Well, like I mean, if
Are
you
you
were like
boomeranging this thing?
no, like if you were to chop something, get it stuck, you got to bring it out like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, I see.
So it's a lot of weight to throw around. So
Sure.
I'd probably do like I honestly, if you could get a super sharp machete or like a katana,
Okay.
I would probably carry that around.
All right.
Just for defense. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
they're not going to help with any survival stuff, but
No.
I just think having an axe, although very good, it's just a lot of weight to have to hurry and throw around back and forth, back and forth. You know
Yeah,
what
it's
I
not-
mean?
it
So
doesn't
if
have
you're
a
getting
high
attacked by
FPS.
if you're getting attacked by multiple zombies, like it's not going to be realistic. You
All
know,
right.
Lance.
I'd probably walk around with a hammer and
Just a normal hammer?
Yeah, I carry some nails with me.
You could do a lot of damage with a hammer.
But
can.
a hammer is kind of that multi-tool you're thinking about. I can open cans with it, and
Swiss Army knife?
and then probably a handgun, something that you could get lots of ammo, find lots of ammo.
That's a
Okay.
good point. Yeah.
More like a
It's
universal
not
damage.
something that the ammo is going to be sparse, but something you could probably find in every household.
Probably
But
Glock.
I'm not a gun guy, so I couldn't
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
you. But something that's what's common in most houses, Levi.
I would
I'm
say a
like-
shotgun, AR, and a pistol, 9mm.
I think
9
AR-15s
9mm,
are
yeah.
probably your most popular bet.
Well, the nice thing about that, you could take down a deer too, because
Yep.
like you shooting a deer with a pistol at a significant amount, like the odds of shooting that thing are gonna.
And
be
then I
pretty
gotta
putting it
cut it up
down.
with I gotta cut it up with my hammer. Get it?
Ripping off pieces.
Dylan.
AR-15. I've shot it before. I've got a little experience with it. Seems to make the most sense as far as like a gun goes. Melee weapon. I don't know. I'd probably go with
Spoon?
just some kind of like. Well, no, I don't know. I mean,
A spork?
no, not a knife.
KFC
What about
gravy.
you say? Not
Machete?
It was a machete. Yeah, machete makes sense. You could use it for several reasons.
Yeah.
How about a nail gun? Could I have a nail gun as a
That'd be
melee weapon?
technically your gun.
That would be
Mhm.
gun.
But you
And
would
you have
have
to carry
then-
an air tank.
A compressor.
Or like a generator.
Yeah, okay. There's no other kind of nail guns that needs a. There's no other kind of
What?
nail guns that doesn't need a compressor.
Oh,
It
it's
would
gonna
run
need
on
a
battery.
Yeah. So you
That
need
only
What
lasts
if
so
a lot of
long.
batteries? I've got a backpack full of batteries.
I think it's
Nail-
funnier if you have a compressor as a backpack.
Okay, everyone be
I'm just-
quiet in this store.
I got this.
You could carry more ammunition. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
You
that's
just really-
true. That's true. That's true.
All right, Tennessee.
There
what would you
is logic to it. You
There
see?
is.
You see?
It's crazy logic. Let's see. My firearm of choice would probably be a shotgun, like just gauge 20 shotgun. Use hunt, you can use for self-defense. And then probably a kukuri, like knife. It's kind of like a machete. So
Mm.
Kukuri?
kukuri.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I'm sure you guys have
Sounds
seen it.
made up. Sounds like
Kukuri?
bullshit.
Sounds cuckoo. Oh, oh, okay. I see.
Maybe
Oh
mispronouncing.
yeah, one of those big.
Yeah, the big ones. Not the
Yeah.
small ones, but the
So
big
like
ones.
kukri machetes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good for
Okay.
chopping. Good for
Oh, yeah.
Chopping.
Let's did everyone get their weapon and stuff and choice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we'll play a little random game before we end here. But
Let's do it.
it's simple. Okay, I'm gonna give you a job. So you're not you. I'm gonna
Not
give you a
me.
job and I'm gonna give you a random location, and then you tell me if you'd survive. Just keep it simple, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Tennessee, you are a beauty therapist at a pizzeria. Do you survive when the zombie apocalypse breaks out?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Beauty
As a
therapist.
beauty therapist?
As a beauty therapist, I'd survive. I have access to drugs and syringes, right? My
No,
clientele
you
are
don't.
probably
I think a beauty therapist is not that.
Yeah, they don't have that kind of
Are you,
license.
what's
to
a beauty
carry-
therapist? Beauty therapist. Beauty therapist.
You would have a client list that
That
would
would-
have a lot of money. So
Oh!
you would have friends that you could easily go and would
Yeah.
probably
Like
take
a
you
And
in.
Rob.
sociopath. Yeah,
And we would assume you were beautiful if you're a beauty therapist.
Yeah,
I would.
that would be
Facial
helpful.
treatments, nail technology.
The problem is being at the pizzeria. Do you take the dough? Do you take anything with
Yeah,
you?
bro. That's what I'm saying. I think I survived. 'Cause I think
Fermented dough.
let's say someone's there. I have a clientele there. If they weren't a zombie, it's like it's probably a small person, female. I could probably take them hand to hand. Now, the big people at the pizza bar, that might be a little harder, right? The big old guy, 6'6", 300 pounds. Yeah, I'd have to like probably grab as much food as I can and bounce out.
Right. I'm not understanding the location. Is this location where we just where like all of a sudden things break out and things start
That's
going
where it
crazy?
breaks out. That's where it
That's where-
breaks out.
Yeah, I'm
So
at
that's the
beauty
starting
petition
point.
at a pizza parlor. So essentially, there's a pizza parlor.
Yep.
I'm assuming in the downstairs, and I'm a beauty petition on top. So it's like
Oh,
two in
okay.
one
So that's
combo.
where your salon is. Okay.
Right above the pizza, man. You got to look pretty while you eat.
You got scissors and everything. All right.
Scissors, tweezers. I could tweeze people to death.
Okay, Levi, this is your
Oh boy.
job. You're a marketing director.
Oh yeah. No.
Well, I can't do that one. At a pet store. So you're at Petco. You're a marketing director. Do you survive when the zombie apocalypse comes?
I'm gonna say no. I just don't see it happening. If it's not me, I'm a marketing director. That means I only know about marketing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys
You
And
are
then
couldn't
so
talk
negative.
your way out of this one?
And then I'm out of the.
You trained the first puppy as an alpha dog. Okay. He trains the
Okay.
rest of the puppies and then
Well,
you teach
but
them
you
to
have
attack.
you have
work your way
chains,
out
you
of
have
the Petco.
collars, you got muzzles. There's just a bunch of stuff there you could probably.
So it's a
like-
big no. Everyone would say no to that one.
No,
Okay,
no,
Dylan, let's see here. You're a meteorologist
These
at a boxing club.
A boxing club?
Yeah.
Like they do.
Yeah.
Oh, you screwed. A boxer turned into a
no,
zombie? A
because-
boxer turned into a zombie?
Because of my science background, the people that are fighters inside the boxing place
Yep.
would see me as somebody that should come along. I've probably got not only a science background, but probably some medical background. I'd be of use
Yep.
to these fighters, these strong people that would be, good in that kind of scenario. So yeah, I say a lot.
I think that's a survival. Okay, I'll choose one for me. I'm a midwife. Okay. In a basement. That's not a great location.
That's not a
That's
great
a
re-roll
weird-
that
Okay,
one.
I'm a midwife on a construction site. I think I'd be pretty useful.
I think you'd be pretty useful.
Listen, if we're going to restart the world, you're going to need a midwife. They
Yeah,
have the
you
medical
are
knowledge.
right.
They're the step below a doctor, really. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I think you actually would survive.
I think
And
you'd
the
have a
construction
chance.
site, plenty of tools and equipment and capable people to survive.
And
Yeah.
barricades,
Yes.
really. You have
Barricades,
options.
yeah. So I think I won that one. So
Yeah, I think you did.
There's some win.
Wait.
Yeah.
So I said yes to my thing, but who would vote no to my thing? The beautician and
I don't think a
salon.
beautician. Well, it would be a maybe. I'd be a maybe.
Maybe.
Well, you're thinking of yourself.
Okay, I'm not myself.
Yeah.
You're not
Then
yourself. Like
no.
you're looking at
Yeah.
your training and whatever
Yeah.
you
Well,
got going.
maybe, because the
I'd
pizza,
say
the
no.
pizza has food, and I could probably barricade it because it's probably again security.
Yeah, but that's food that's probably not going to last long.
It's flour.
Do you
though.
have food, Mr. Marketer?
No, I have kibble
Yeah, you have food.
and animals that I would have to
You
eat.
can survive on kibbles and bits.
You
could
can.
do it.
Yeah.
Bacon
Just
bits.
horribly sick.
But you also, I mean, if it's a Petco, it's kind of like a vet. There's usually a veterinary thing
There's
in there.
some stuff
Ooh,
there.
right.
There's
But
some-
you're also a marketing director.
yeah. What
So
do
you
I
don't
know?
know.
As a,
But you could talk people into things.
Yeah.
That's you have the silver tongue.
Yeah, there you go. There's your advantage.
There you go. There's a scenario.
I still think it's a no. I just don't see it
Yeah.
happening. I'm all eating crickets from Petco because they breed crickets
Yeah.
But they also have goldfishes. You can just survive with fish?
just every day.
All right. Well, that's the hour. Thank you for joining us. As we said, we are coming up on a year, so hopefully you've enjoyed us, and we're probably looking to improve and morph and advance and become better. So join us as we go under construction a little bit. Keep tuned every Monday, new episodes. I was one of your hosts, the one who likely shoot people. Not really, on a zombie apocalypse. Have a good week, Levi.
Have a good one.
Lance.
I'm traveling with Levi at a zombie apocalypse. I'm just saying.
Surprise. Dylan.
I'm traveling Lance because of Ben. Ben is most likely as the pilot to Diddy Island, where there's plenty of supplies and never mind, I don't want to go too far. I'm done with weekend. All right, I'm finished.
All right,
Have a good week,
peace.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.